Mistral and I are talking about manifestation today. This is the last episode of our manifestation series that we have been doing for the past 5 weeks. So, we're going to talk today about the four arrows, how to utilize them to manifest, and speak a little bit to environment. The environment arrow that is our pop up tomorrow live inside Planning by Design. So we would love to have you with us tomorrow. Hey, Mistral.
Yay, I made it. All right. Ooh, manifestation and the arrow is my favorite.
Yes, I know we love this topic, and the past 5 weeks have really kind of been leading up to today, talking about each energetic cycle that can help you with manifesting. But today, speaking to the four arrows on your human design chart right next to the head that show you, literally give you the roadmap to manifesting anything you want.
And I love too that one of the arrows we're talking about today, or the two main arrows we're talking about are your environment and your perspective. And the environment goes quite deep because there are 6 different types, as Jen will talk to in just a moment. And if you don't know, or if you don't maybe resonate with your environment, maybe you've heard it and you haven't resonated with it before, this is why understanding this piece is going to be so important, especially when it comes to that manifesting. And then if you're doing it in your right environment, in a passive or active or non-specific or specific way will really support you in creating more than just your vision board.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at your human design chart, right, we're going to speak to the two arrows on the bottom. Like Mr. talked about, the bottom left arrow is your environment arrow, and that lets you know if you're a passive or active manifester. And the bottom right arrow, your perspective arrow, whether that faces left or right, tells you if you are a specific or non-specific manifester. So pairing the two together is where the magic really starts to happen.
Yes, yes. And tomorrow, really, Jen, you're doing your environments pop up inside Planning by Design. So if you don't know your environment or you read it and you're like, I don't really know what that means or understand how to really apply this, tomorrow's the masterclass you want to be in for Planning by Design because Jen will break it all down super easy to understand.
Yeah, and there's a lot to your environment, but you can make it really simple. And it's really important to bring your environment into the space that you live in, right? I've brought mine into my home, but also going out and having different places where you can put yourself into your environment for ease, for flow, to be in your signature theme of satisfaction, success, peace, or delight.
Ooh, so Jen, I want to know a little bit with environments. When you first started realizing yours is shores, and so when you started like really showing up in this environment, how did that shift sort of life for you? Like, I'd love to hear just like what were the aha moments that came with understanding that arrow in your human design chart?
Yeah, so my environment arrow faces left. So I need consistency in my environment, right? Same place, same way of doing things in that space. So it made perfect sense when I found out 5 years ago that I was a shores environment because I've always grown up on the ocean. The furthest I've ever lived from the ocean was about 20 minutes. And even then, I found myself finding my way to living on a river, right? It's that natural waterways. So it made a lot of sense like, oh, I always go to the beach. That is where I feel at home. So when I go to the beach, which I've actually been doing these past couple of days, walking my dog, and I'm like thinking about life. What do I want? What am I dreaming on? Right? That is me actively left facing environment arrow is active manifestation. So I'm like, oh, this is me actively manifesting, thinking about and getting really specific because my bottom right arrow faces left as well. So I have to get really specific. So it was really cool to notice, oh, this is how I manifest. I have to get really specific. I have to do it every day, right? Make it super simple. And I'm doing it in my ideal environment. So, of course, in those moments, I'm feeling successful. And especially when my manifestations come to fruition, which they do, right? I get to feel really, really successful and just in alignment, right? That ease and flow that we get when we kind of hit our stride with alignment.
Yeah, beautiful. And I think one of the things with the environments too, I know I can speak to mine in a little bit, but how I didn't resonate with it fully until I started going a little bit deeper. But even now, sometimes I look at some of the other environments, I'm like, oh, I feel like that suits my personality better. But what we have to oftentimes remember is like, but that's a part of you, right? There's conditioning and there's things that we like to do and there's pieces that we've been brought up with, is to understand the foundation, right? Because this is kind of one of those foundational pieces. I know we always talk about energy, strategy, and authority and following that first and foremost in human design. But this, I know you talk about the environments kind of being that next step and understanding really how to pull those pieces kind of even deeper together to serve you in a stronger foundational way.
Yeah, because environment really is kind of like one of the easiest aspects of human design, right? When you really understand your environment, when you put yourself in your environment and know kind of where you can go that fits your environment, anytime that you are not feeling good, you are lacking clarity, right? You're in your not self theme of frustration, of bitterness, anger, disappointment. Putting yourself into your environment can just shift that energy, shift that feeling. And while your environment is your environment, right? There are so many different aspects and nuances to your chart that, of course, you might feel drawn to others because, likely, yes, of conditioning, but also different aspects in your chart bring that together.
Yeah, that's a good point to add in. So it's quite layered and deep, which is why you do need to hook up with someone like Jen who can dive into the depths with you on this because understanding all those little pieces sometimes just allow you to see it or understand it from a different point of view and kind of lock into this alignment that then allows you to have successful manifesting, right? If you feel like you've been stuck, it's like picking out all these little puzzle pieces to slide them together and see, well, where have you been holding yourself back, right? And it could be something as simple as you're being specific in your manifesting and you're actually meant to be non-specific. So there's little tweaks like that, which can really make a huge difference in how you react to manifestations coming in and how you react to actually creating them.
Yeah. So if you're someone who's like, I struggle to manifest, right? I can't manifest. I mean, there's a lot of beliefs underlying there, but perhaps you haven't looked at your blueprint, your human design chart that shows you how you are meant to manifest, how to put yourself in that energy that works for you, rather than like if I was trying to be a non-specific manifester and doing it inside a cave-like environment, my gosh, I would feel so bitter. Like I would be in my not self theme. I would be bitter. I would be like, forget manifestation. Like I give up on this. But when I found out all these little ways that I can play and manifest quite literally anything that I want, right? We are creating our reality. We're co-creating it. It gets to be really simple.
Yes. And I think oftentimes we complicate it, don't we? Because we feel like it has to be this long thing. If I have to do all my gratitude first, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do that, and I can't be asking for too much because that would make me feel bad. And so, coming together to bring in, okay, where is my ideal environment? Not only that's going to bring me success in my manifestations, but in my work, in my life, and how I show up, right? It's not just about manifestation, although that's what we love to talk about, but then also understanding specific, non-specific, and passive and non-passive, or sorry, active and passive to understand, okay, well, when I'm actually manifesting, in which direction am I going with this? Am I constantly writing things down? Am I actively visualizing it? Or am I kind of putting it in a bubble and letting it go to the universe to see where it shows up?
Yeah, and doing it in the way that not correct, is not aligned for you, will likely feel like you're forcing it, right? It's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel easeful. So, checking your human design chart, your arrows, joining Planning by Design so that Mistrell and I both can guide you, especially for tomorrow's environment pop-up workshop. We're going to be talking about the 6 environments and going deep, right? Really understanding them so that all the women inside Planning by Design not only can mm, make sure that they're putting themselves into their environment for ease, for flow, to be in their signature theme, and also for manifestation.
Yes, yes. And we hope to see you there in Planning by Design. It's a great membership. It's super cheap and we meet once a week. So it's like such good value.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want to join us for tomorrow's pop up, all about environments, manifesting, really good stuff, join the community, drop a comment, DM Mastraller Eye, and we will get you that link to join Planning by Design, $89 a month. And there is so much within the community. You get our worksheets, we have goal setting, we have accountability, we have our Q&A, we have our Telegram group. Like there's just so much value and support, and the video vault. Like everything we've done inside Planning by Design is accessible for you.
Yes, my favorite part is the syncing of the cycles because that's been a game changer for me. So get those workbooks, sync those cycles.
Yeah, all the tools are right there. So to find alignment, to live with ease, your energetic cycles, we can't wait to see you inside Planning by Design.